In previous video, we have learned about standard deviation, which is standard deviation is the most common measure of variability for a single dataset. But why do we need yet another measure of variability, such as the coefficient of variations? Well, by comparing the standard deviation of two different datasets is meaningless, but comparing the coefficient of variation is not, because coefficient of variation is used to compare the distribution of two or more data distribution. Now we look at what is the formula of coefficient of variation CV. CV is equals to the standard deviation divided by the mean. Okay, if we have two or more different set of data, we can compare the variability of the data by comparing the respective CV. Okay, for instance, there are two distribution A and B. If CV of A is more than CV of B, we can see that the distribution A is more dispersed or more spread than distribution B. Or we can say that the distribution B is more consistent or more stable or more uniform than distribution A. Okay, we look at example 1. Let's say we want to compare between the marks of 10 students in accounting test and mathematics test. Okay, first find the value of mean and standard deviation. Okay, and then substitute into the formula of CV, which is standard deviation divided by mean times 100%. So CV for accounting test is equals to 17.31%. Okay, so for mathematics test, the value of mean is equals to 64.6 and standard deviation is 8.17. So we find the coefficient of variation for mathematics test, which is the CV for mathematics test is 12.65%. Okay, from example 1, we found that the coefficient of variation for accounting test, which is 17.31%, is more than the coefficient of variation of mathematics test, which is 12.65%. Okay, so this means the accounting mark is more dispersed than mathematics marks. Okay, or we can see that the mathematics marks is more consistent than accounting marks. Okay, so as you can see, the mean for both data are of the same, which is 64.6. However, they have different standard deviation, which is the standard deviation of accounting test is more than standard deviation for mathematics test. Okay, that's why the accounting test is more dispersed than mathematics test. Okay, next we look at example 2. In example 2, for the first question, we want to find the value of mean, which is mean is equals to RM 310.48, and also standard deviation. So standard deviation is equals to 100 RM 103.94. Second question, we want to compare the uniformity of price per square foot of properties in the states R and S. So we have to calculate the coefficient of variation for both states and check for the smallest CV. So for CVR, state R, we found that it equals to 33.48%. And meanwhile, for state S, the coefficient of variation is equals to 23.57%. Therefore, state S has a more uniform price per square foot of properties compared to state R, since coefficient of variation for state S is smaller than coefficient of variation for state R. So as you can see, both data have different values of mean and standard deviation. This is why CV can be used as the measure of variability or dispersion. Now we can see that the two of data sets have different variability. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Bye.